This is not Spanish, by the way. But
The mic is working.
oh.
Yeah, perfect.
In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit, one God.
So this is not Spanish. This is French, and I gave the topic in Montreal one time. So Montreal, they speak English and French. So I didn't have time to. There is always English. So, but if you see French, yeah, you can just ignore it. So this is a small group. So feel free to interrupt me anytime. There are many types of parents, and each one of you may decide which type my dad or my mom falls on. And it's very important that you know the type of your parent, and then we can talk about how that will affect your relationship with him or with her. So very rarely there are parents who are very negligent. They ignore, they are not focusing, they don't even know what grade are you in, what are your talents, what do you like to do. There are also parents who are overprotective, and that's very common. A lot of Middle Eastern, especially Egyptian parents, they want to intervene in every single aspect of your life. They want to know every single minute of the day. So if you have your phone, I would like you to put your phone away. Okay. If you write notes, no problem. If you are using it for something else, please don't do it. Thank you anyway. So overprotective means that you are, the parent is holding and want to know everything about you. They don't want you to make any decision without them knowing. They are aware of everything goes in your life. There are parents who are very godly, and they want their children to be growing up in church, knowing Christ, and their objective is in heaven. And those are excellent parents as well. There are parents who are very sarcastic. They make fun of every single thing you do. And I think the videos that some of you have done, and I have seen it, very nice video, made fun of how occasionally us parents make fun of you or being sarcastic. So if one of you says, "Mom, I'm very scared from an exam," she said, "What? What are you talking about? The exam document." And if one person goes to Mom, I think I like this guy or I like this girl, she will also make fun of you and say, "Hey, what kind of, are you a man now? You're going to tell me you like somebody? Are you a big lady? You're going to tell me I love somebody?" And they make fun of you. There are also parents who like to belittle you, may not just make fun of you, but underestimate you, underestimate your feelings. They are not appreciative of your opinion. If you make an opinion, they don't worry about it, they don't care about it, because your opinion doesn't matter. If you tell your dad that Toyota is better than the Nissan, oh, come on, you don't understand anything about cars. And you happen to know a lot of things about cars because that's your hobby. If you tell him, buy this iPhone better than Android and 1, 2, 3, say, oh, you don't care about it. You don't know these things. I know everything. So they are less interested in your opinion because to them you are not valuable. Your opinion is not valuable. Some of the parents also may don't get it, don't understand what you're talking about. I mean, if you start telling them, Mom, I don't want to go to the sports because some of the kids make fun of me because I am short or I'm tall or I'm fat or I'm thin, whatever. They don't get it. They don't appreciate that. And they don't get what is going through your life. If you tell him or tell her that I have a lot of pressure, they look at you and say, what is he talking about compared to the pressures they have? Some parents are really backward in their thinking, and they are always reminding you that your generation is far worse than their generation. And they keep saying, you guys are horrible. Your time is bad. Your level of understanding is not good. And they are very backward in their thinking. And then there are parents who are very kind, very gentle. They want to be understanding. They want to be loving. So I don't know which one is your parent or mix of these characters, but these are some of the parents. But then I want you to know their struggles. As much as you may see all of this and you say, yeah, my dad is this and this and this. Okay, fine. I'm not going to disagree with you. But let us now analyze their struggles. Know your parents' struggles. Number one, they may have come and they never knew a word of English. And they have to learn a new language completely. And that's, by the way, is very difficult for a guy who's 35 or 40 years old to start learning how to speak, let alone American accents, and has to be understood. It's very difficult. And sometimes the language has a different meaning. Like they can say two things and he may understand it the way the book says, but in the street it has a different language. So not only the language is difficult, the understanding is difficult. And then maybe your parents are the first comers to this country. Maybe you are a first generation born here or a first generation brought up here. And no grandparent came here before. And believe me, that's very hard because they don't know anyone. There was no aunt or uncle or cousins or anyone, and they started a brand new thread of the family here. And that's very difficult because in Egypt there are plenty of cousins and extended family, and everybody's close to everybody. Then also know their struggles as far as the jobs. Maybe your dad was a lawyer or a teacher and then he came here. How can be a lawyer here? It's very difficult. To become a teacher here, he has to know the language back and forth. If he needs to be a doctor, he has to study from the beginning again. So and then the job that he may do may be a physical job. Like I know of parents, she's working in Dunkin' Donuts in the morning, and then she goes to CVS to be a stocking boy or something. I don't know what they call them. And she was a teacher in Egypt. Now she's working 2 or 3 jobs, and all of them are physical. She has to carry stuff. She has to stand on her legs all the day. She has to really hear from a supervisor who probably 10 years younger than her. And it's very poor jobs compared to what she was sitting in an office, very respected. Everybody talks to her in a nice way. And all of a sudden, she doesn't have an office, she doesn't have a desk, let alone a chair, and she is walking all the time, she is moving things, she's carrying things, and she's not respected by some people around her. Know their struggle that they are always so scared. Yeah, let's wait and see. It will come back, I think. All right, I'll do it again. Is that what you want me to do, Viola? I'll do it again, yeah. Okay. No. Okay, thank you. Sorry to bother you. So remember also they are very scared for you. They are very scared. They don't know what happens to you, who is driving next to you, who is drinking next to you, who is in the bathroom went after you, and they don't understand what exactly they should do because it's the fear of the unknown. Your parents are unaware of what goes on in your life, and because they are unaware, they think that a lot of people will actually take advantage of you. They may hurt you, they may harm you, they may maybe molest you. I mean, anything can happen. They don't know. So your parents may be so scared because when they immigrated and with no knowledge of what goes in the society here, and now they have to put up with this. And remember, they are coming here for you. They probably would have done well in Egypt. Many of them have better jobs in Egypt than the jobs that they have here. I know for sure that. So for them to come here, it's not because they have a better job. Actually, it may not. Some of you guys have better homes in Egypt than what you have here. So what happened is they came here because they expect that one day you will have a better future here. And all of a sudden, they see that the society is going different than what they want to. And the teachings and the curriculum and the media are showing things that they are not very comfortable with. So they are very scared of the unknown, scared of the lack of knowledge. Know your parents struggled as far as the cultures. There are so many diverse, weird cultures around us. And your parents didn't prescribe to this. When they came, they just were coming for a better life, easier life, free life, less prejudice from other religions. And all of a sudden, there is prejudice against being straight, prejudice against your color, prejudice against your religion. You don't know what's prejudice? So, but remember, guys, we are in the church, so it's very important. I don't have problem with jokes, but the jokes has to respect the altar that's behind me. Okay? Thank you. So it's very important that when your parents came in, they assumed that the culture here will be as conservative as in Egypt. But then they found that the culture is so liberal to the extent it's going completely extreme to the left. And all of a sudden, you guys are in the school, are in the media, you're going to grow up, and then they are so scared. What did I do? I brought my daughter, who could have been living in Cairo in a different culture, and I brought her here. Now I don't know what will happen. So they are scared, and you guys do not appreciate the struggles your parents are living in, because every day you go out, they wonder what are you being exposed to and what will you come saying later on today. You may come to say, I'm not a boy anymore, I'm a girl. Unfortunately, it's happening. You may say, I want to marry a boy in the future, and you are a boy. They may say, I want to take marijuana, it's legal. They may say many things, and your parents are so scared. And you guys do not appreciate how much they are worried about you. Then you have to appreciate also that your parents, when they came here, and even if they have been here for a while, they still don't understand the laws. How to report something. If somebody bothers me at work, can I talk about it or not? Can I complain to a supervisor or I shouldn't? What happened if somebody hit my car and I am not legal yet? Should I do something? Should I not report it? They are not aware of many of the laws, and all of a sudden they are very scared of what can happen to them. The fear of technology. I mean, I am sure if I ask the men and ladies in the other room, when you came from Egypt, did you have a phone in your pocket? They'll say, we hardly have a phone at home. Some places we didn't have phones at home, let alone in your pocket. So what happens? Did you ever own a computer? Some of them they didn't have a computer. Now you have a computer in your pocket. And sometimes you have more than one computer in your room. That's a huge culture shock to your parents. They are looking at this and say, the computer, full of amazing knowledge. Look at what I'm doing. I'm bringing verses. But also the computer can bring so much unwanted knowledge, unclean stuff. And all of a sudden, my daughter and my son are exposed to. So they are scared. And they don't know what to do. Should they give you the phone? Should they take the phone? Should they limit the phone? How many hours? And you have to appreciate the confusion they are in. They want to protect you, but in the same time, they are completely confused how and what to do and what are the limits. So it's very important you know this slide because that will give us an understanding of how many of our parents sometimes behave in a weird way, in a strange way, in an overprotective way. I may have mentioned a couple of this before, but I want to bring it again. You guys, when you communicate or try to communicate with your parents, you try not to say anything. And because you will assume they will never understand me anyway, so why should I talk? Might as well I will not tell them anything. They don't get it. Some of you will say they are always expecting I'm bad. They think I'm always the worst person, so why should I even defend myself? Okay, she thinks I'm always fooling around, and I'm not doing any good thing. Okay, fine, let them think this way. I'm not going even to tell them. They think I have a girlfriend, although I don't have a girlfriend. Okay, let them think whatever they think, because you know what? What's the point? I keep defending myself all the time. I'm fed up of this. Maybe some of you will say, my parents will do whatever they want anyway, so why should I bother by talking to them or explaining my position? I would just tell them, do whatever you like. I don't like it, but at least I'm saving my breath. Why should I even bother by talking to them? I know there is a big difference in culture and in mindfulness between me and my parents. They are a different, I'm not saying they are bad, but they are just thinking different. So why should I talk to them? So all of this, unfortunately, happens to every single boy or girl here. And they think because of these factors, there is no point of talking to my parents. However, if you talk to your parent, you will know what's in your father's mind. If you start making a dialogue with your mom, you will understand why is she thinking this way, or what is her background about this. Why is she so scared about you that she gets very nervous when you tell her, I have to go out at 9 or 10 or 11 p.m.? What's in her mind? Why is she so telling you there is no way you're going out? If you start asking, you'll understand that she knows of an experience maybe happened, or somebody told her somebody got raped or somebody got hit by a drunk driver. And all of a sudden she wasn't telling you, but she's saying, no, you're not going out. But then you say, no, I'm going to go out. No, you're not going out. Go to your room. But then when you talk to her mom, why you don't want me to go out? She will deflate and she starts saying, because at work, one of my coworkers told me that her daughter went out at 9:30 and a drunk driver hit the car that she was in. And the girl now is in the hospital. She's not able to say that unless you keep talking. But you guys stop talking to your parents, and when you stop talking, Unfortunately, the gap got bigger, and your parents were not even able to explain to you where do they come from. By the way, when you talk to your parents, believe me, you gain experience. You think your parents, because they don't speak English, don't have experience, you are wrong. The language does not make you experienced. I know people who may know 5 languages, but they are completely unwise. You now have language. What about your dad who knows at least 2 languages? Fluent in Arabic and maybe a little bit in English. Doesn't he make him more experienced? Number 2, isn't he 40 years, which means maybe 3 times your age? Sorry, guys. I'll do it again. So by him being in more experience, more age, he has seen much more than you. And when he has seen much more than you, that will allow him to really give you a knowledge and experience that you do not have before. When you speak to your parents, you feel more responsible. Like if, for example, and I think I gave that example yesterday, your mom was crying or upset, or you heard something in the phone that she's saying she has an appointment with a doctor tomorrow very early and she's so scared. And you decided to ask her, Mom, what's going on? I heard you going to the doctor. What's wrong with you? She doesn't want to talk because she doesn't want to add to you. But you insisted in a nice way that you must know because it's your mom. And then she says, I'm going for a biopsy. They think I have something wrong with me and they need to take a piece of my breast, for example. And it's very common, by the way, and majority are not cancer. But she's so scared. But when you talk, you became more responsible. Now you will not keep nagging on her and telling her, where is my breakfast? Where is my juice? Where is my sneaker? Where is my jacket? Calm down now, because now you became more responsible. You knew that your mom is worried about something. So you are not going to keep bothering her about something so trivial. So you will grow up. You become more responsible. So when you talk, the responsibility increases and you become more manly and more ladylike, because you are not a child that's supposed to be just, enjoying whatever you have and you don't care about others, but rather you are sharing the burden with mom. And maybe you will stand on your feet or your knees asking for prayers of the saints and Pope Kyrillos and whoever you love. Please be with my mom while she's having a procedure. And then when everything goes all right, you come back and you feel so good because God listened to your prayer. You see? Believe me, parents benefit when you talk. Not only you benefit, but when you talk to your mom and dad, they benefit. They understand what goes in your life as far as issues, problems. When you tell your dad, for example, I don't want to go to the sport team anymore, and he keeps nagging about it, but then you start telling him, because every time I go, they make fun of me, they make fun of the way, whatever, they make fun that I am too tall or too small or too big or too thin, or your dad now understand where you come from. Rather than he pushes you against your will to do something, now you explain. And when you explain, they actually understand you. Because we depend on language to understand each other. Sometimes parents can understand what goes in your head without saying, but it's easier when you speak. So when you speak to your parents, they also benefit from you. I was talking to the parents yesterday that how about if you ask your daughter about which car should you buy? And she is very well read about it, or which phone should you get, or which package should you purchase? And when you because you guys may be experiencing this, so you are giving experience to your parents in something it's not their forte, and all of a sudden they're learning from you something new. So when you talk to us, we benefit. When you talk to us, the gap is smaller, the gap decreases, the culture becomes less important. Whether I came 20 years from Egypt or 5 years, whether you have been in this country 15 years and you were born here and you adapted to everything, and I'm new to this, the gap gets smaller. Also, when you talk to your parents, decisions are co-taken, are shared. Rather than you take a decision, dad takes a decision, all of a sudden nobody knows where it came from. You guys are sharing that decision, and the decision comes as a collective from the whole family. We are going to move to Philadelphia because 1, 2, 3, because you guys discussed it. We are going to buy this car instead of this car because 1, 2, 3. We are going to exchange, T-Mobile with AT&T because of 1, 2, 3. The decisions are co-taken, are taken together. The next part of my talk, when God said, honor your father and mother, what did he mean by honoring? Can anyone wants to comment? So I get to learn what's in your head. The question again before I pick on you, what should you honor in your parents that God is saying, honor your parents or mom and dad? Yes.
You should respect them and love them for what they do.
Very good. Respect them and love them. But what do you respect them in? What exactly you should honor them at? Yes. Respect their decisions or honor their decisions.
Where they do.
Nice. You respect their work. Here. Go ahead, ya Habibti. Opinions. Honor their opinions. Very nice. So let's see what I wrote. So honor their experience. I told you the experience is equal to their added ages. So if your mom is 30 and your dad is 35, their experience is 65 years of experience. And you are 15 or 17. Can you imagine the wealth of experience you have at home and can be given to you for nothing? So number one, honor their experience in life. Don't ever in your head say, they don't get it, they don't understand. They're just a bunch of people who came from Egypt a couple of years ago. They honor their faith. By the way, if you look at the faith of all the people in America today, Copts are some of the most faithful Christian in the world. By the way, I'm not biased. This is for truth. There are so many churches are being closed, but not, and Copts are purchasing and buying churches. We're increasing. How does this tell you? Except the faith of your parents and grandparents are the root of where you are today. This church is built on some parents and grandparents. You have to appreciate and honor that. Honor their struggles. Honor all the types of struggles I mentioned, which is their struggle to preserve you, struggle to bring you here, struggle to lack of language, struggle for lack of knowledge of culture or lack of experience knowledge. Honor their worry about you, their concerns about you. Don't underestimate when your mom said, Habibti, I couldn't sleep the whole night because you told me you are not doing good in that exam. I couldn't sleep last night because I felt you are very sad and somebody got you angry or upset. Can you imagine that you have a parent like this? Honor their concerns about you. Honor their sacrifices. How many of your own peers at school, your parents left a very easy life, very easy work, very honorable desk to something less honorable here for you? Just tell me, how many parents do you know like this? Most of the parents would say, no, it's easy on us. We came here, we have been here, and we grow up here. But when your parents re-implant themselves from different country here, leaving a comfortable, easy life, maybe sitting on a desk, to a very tough life here, that's a sacrifice. They left the life they knew. They came to a life they don't know. They came to unknown. Honor that they have two languages. Now, I want to end with this, and then I want to take some questions, and if we have time, I have something else I can show you. How to honor them? Anyone wants to comment on this? How to honor? Yes. You first. Respect them. Help them in anything they want. Thank them. Thank you. Nice. Share their burdens. Be grateful. Anything? How to honor them? Okay. Number one, as you guys said, respect them. Believe me, the way we speak to our parents has to be in a respectful manner. They may not know enough English. That doesn't make them to be less respected. Sorry, it keeps cutting off. So respect them. Okay, it's coming. Number two, when you know that your parents are lacking some knowledge in something, like your mom doesn't know how to send an email or write a letter or surf the web for something she wants to know. Don't look at them down and say, oh, this bunch of backward people, how do they not know how to write an email? Help them. They may not know computer like you. They may not know how to write a good English like you. Do not imitate others. Many of you think having a girlfriend and a boyfriend is the way to go because that's how Americans are. But remember, you are not just American, you are Coptic American. And the added Coptic gives you the responsibility of all the martyrs that built this church. So how can you imitate others because say all Americans do that? Yeah, so that doesn't make you, I mean, if you have seen an Orthodox Jew, they don't imitate others. They have those long skirts and they don't go out in a certain time. And why would a certain ethnicity does not imitate others and you like to imitate? Why? What is in the American culture that is far superior than your Christian culture that you want to drop something Christian for you to gain something from outside? By the way, I don't mind American or Egyptian or any culture, but I mind Christian culture. If you are rooted in your Christian culture, then it will be great. Get the best of the American culture and the Egyptian culture and Ethiopian culture and whatever culture, I have no problem. But if you don't have a Christian culture, roots, you will find yourself, you lost your uniqueness. You don't know who you are anymore because you are patched as if somebody has a patch from every color and you don't know what color is you. How do you honor them? By being successful. They brought you here because they want you to be excellent. It's very bad when you are not interested to be successful. They want you to be successful in every aspect, in knowledge, in school, in sports, and in God. So when you become successful, you are honoring your parents. You are make them proud. You make all the sacrifices they did don't count. Yes, Habibi, you want to say something? Yeah, beautiful. So being successful because you owe it to them. When somebody says, "Oh, I don't like to study," you have to study. If it's not for you, for those who worked hard to bring you where you are today. I don't want to be good at whatever math or science, but you have to be good because you are good not just for you, for those who also toiled for you. How do you honor them? By staying faithful. When you have faith and you are strong in your faith and you're holding your values and principles and not wavering and not imitating others and not looking to please the world but rather please God, you are honoring your parents. How many of us care so much what God think of us? And how many of us care so much what others in school or society say about me, about my Instagram, my way I dress, my Snapchat, how many of us? How many of us would at the end of the day say, did I please God today? Or I had 20 more likes in my Instagram? Which one? I'm not asking you to answer, but I'm asking you which one counts. And believe me, if you want to honor your parents, you honor God. How to honor them? By becoming more responsible. Even if you are 12 or 15 years old, you are 18 years old, you are a lady now, you are a man. Are you responsible? Can you take care of yourself? Can you take care of your little sister? Can you take care of your room? Can you take care of your body that nobody touches it wrong? Because your body is like this altar, must be covered, must be protected, must be revered. Because St. Paul said, don't you know that your bodies are the temple of the Holy Spirit and the Spirit of God dwells in you? So you are a temple of the Holy Spirit and she is a temple of the Holy Spirit. So by honoring means nobody should touch or see this body because belongs to God and that's an honor. Do not provoke them. Many of us like to instigate a problem, make an issue, provoke my parents, get them angry. When I see them angry, rather than I calm them down, I'm pushing them. That's not honoring. Honor them by praying. Ask them to pray for you. Can you imagine when you tell Mom, I have an exam tomorrow, please pray for me? You are doing two things, asking for her prayers and making sure that she will pray. Because maybe your mom doesn't pray. But when you tell her, please pray for me, she will pray and she will pray for you. So you got two good things. So ask your dad in your way, Dad, I have to meet the principal today because of a problem. Please pray for me. You made sure your dad is going to pray and is going to pray for you. Share stories. Please do not be silent and using your phone and the dining table and you know that they love to hear you. They love to listen to you. They love to share your stories. Work on your screen time. By honoring your parents, I mean try to reduce your screen time, because if you do, you will be able to honor them because you're spending more time with them. Finally, tell them about your struggles, how much you're going through, what is bothering you, where is the issue, and why are you confused about it. So I'm going to stop here because I promised we'll finish around 10:30. So if you have questions, I'll answer as much as I can. So when is the right time to date? Who should make the first move? So we only look at dating in the Christian realm as a venue, a pathway to get married. Dating in the Christian sense is not to have a boyfriend or a girlfriend just to have fun. But rather, I'm going to date this young lady because I see in her someone I can marry. So I'm going to ask the question to you rather than to me. When do you think you're going to get married? If you tell me I would like to be ready for marriage at the age of 25, which means, let's say, average difference now 10 years, then I'm going to ask you why you want to date now. Because if you start dating now, what will happen? You are not a piece of steel like this and you like this computer. If these two date each other, the table and the computer, they will have to be intimate. Why? Because they are having feelings. You are not a piece of wood and she's not a piece of steel. So if you start going out with her or with him, after a while, your feelings and emotions increase, and all of a sudden you want more. And because you want to keep yourself pure, it's burning you. And all of a sudden, if she talks to somebody else, you get so angry and so jealous. And she calls you and say, "Why are you talking to this girl?" And it becomes a chaos. So, number one, I don't think we should date in high school. Number two, should you have feelings now, the best is to keep it at feelings only. You don't talk about it, you don't progress on it, you don't profess it, you don't act on it, because if you act on it, you are asking the other one also to reciprocate, and the feelings must grow, and all of a sudden you still have 5 years to get married, and it's not easy. Number three, remember, you are at a time now, let's say until the age of 19 or something like that, you keep changing because your hormones are changing you. Whether you are a boy or a girl, are changing you. The hormones are making you like something and then you hate something. You love a certain shirt, for example, and then 6 months later you hate it. You buy a very expensive sneaker and 6 months later you can't stand it and you are embarrassed to anyone to see it. You make your hair in a different style and you take a picture, now you don't want to show your picture to anyone. What happened? It's the same you, but it's not the same you. You changed. And because you change, how can you choose someone who you want to be with for all your life? You're going to change. I assure you, everyone who chose during high school, majority, over 90-some%, they decided that this is not the right person and they changed to a different person. Because they are different, the other person become different, and in the future they meet different people. So please, if you commit now, the likelihood of making a mistake is so high, and the chances of losing are so much. The best is grow in God, keep praying, God, one day I want to meet this lady from your hand. I know she is somewhere in this universe. Please, God, prepare her for me and prepare me for her. And the girls should pray the same thing, that one day, God, I know there is a boy for me there from your hand. Please prepare him for me, make him holy and pure, and make me ready for him when I meet him. That's a very good prayer, even if you are 14 years old. And when you are 24 and you start meeting that person, You are not late, and you are still very fresh in your feelings and emotions. So, in my opinion, I wouldn't recommend dating at all in your age. Why don't our parents trust us to go places if they how to take care of, if they have taught us how to take care of ourselves? So I agree with you. They may be scared, and they may have taught you many good things, but sometimes the places you choose to go to, although they may, ladies, are you with me? Please stay with me. The places that you are going to visit, there may be other people there that they were not taught what you have of principles. There was a prom in New York at one time, and the girl who insisted to go in spite of her mom insistence not to go, at the end, cousins and aunts and told her, let her go. She went. And although there were teachers there, some of the kids who were 18 or I don't know, 19, I don't know, a little older, were bringing alcohol in their pockets. The teachers didn't see it. So there was some little drunkenness, and this girl was touched in a very bad way that really violated her feelings. And she regrets it, and it's 3 years now. She regrets it up till today. She's 19 or 20, and she regrets that day that she went to the prom because she went against her mom decision, and she thought she knows better than her mom, and apparently her mom was more experienced, although her mom never went to a prom, but she knows the world more. So believe me, if your parents are telling you not to go to a place and you counseled each other and you dialogued and they insist, it's not because they want to deprive you from fun, but they want to protect you from danger. There may be times they are overprotective. I am with you. But as I told you, that doesn't mean you should ignore their experience, but you should try to convince them. But if you fail to convince them, believe me, many times they are right than wrong. How do I get on the same page as them? I like that question. I think if you have listened to me today and you start to count how much they have sacrificed, how many are their experiences, how well they are very, thank you, Mariam, how well they know the world, you may start understanding. There is a word called empathy. Have you heard that before? Empathy, not sympathy. Empathy means that I put myself in your shoes. If you, for example, find your mom very worried about you, I want you to think for a second that you are a parent, like the video some of you have done. Okay? So if you put yourself in the shoes of a parent and you act in a, thank you so much, and you act in a very, very a parenting type, what would you say if you become a dad today and if you become a mom today and your daughter came to you and told you what you want? What would you say as a dad? You're not John, you're not Fed, you're not Mariam, you are mom, you are dad. What would you say to your kids if they come and tell you what you are asking? That's called empathy. Many of us, if they do that, they will find themselves not doing what they are doing. What if you don't agree on a decision, you don't agree with their opinion, and they are not convinced with yours, but this will bring no harm? And we communicated. I'm not sure. Listen, guys, if you communicated and you could not convince them and you did your best, at the end of the day, The bottom line, they are in charge. You're not in charge. With all respect, you're only 15 or 16 or 18. Many of you guys cannot make big decisions in your life, even by law. So if you try to convince your parent and your parent wasn't convinced, abide, agree, say harder, say okay, no problem. You may not like it, but you will get that blessing of obedience, and maybe one day you will find they were right. If they are wrong, what happened? Just tell me, what did you lose? You lost a trip, you lost a fun party, fine, no problem. What? You have so much in your life waiting for you. It's not like they tortured you. So I'm asking you to dialogue, to communicate, to try to convince. If you fail to convince them, accept. Why do we have to become doctors? You don't have to. You really don't have to. I am not recruiting anyone. But I can tell you, not because I'm a doctor, but if I want to start my life again, I think it's one of the most Christian types of jobs. Like, next after the priest, the doctor is a healer. If he is a good Christian doctor, the doctor is a healer, and Christ is the great physician. So when we touch people, we are touching his creation, and we want to correct what happened because of the world and the infection and the sin and the cancer. So we are participating with God in healing people, and we are bridging people into God as well. And that's why I think being a nurse, physician assistant, physician, therapist, anything in the medical field, that doesn't mean being a teacher or a lawyer or a pharmacist is not good. Everything is great, but you asked me a question. I know my parents have experience, but it could not work for me, for my situation, and their experience might not work. Okay, let's say they don't have experience in prom, since we just spoke about it. They don't know what's prom. And they told you, I don't want you to go to prom. Fine. Fine. You try to explain to them, tell me, you as a girl or a boy, what type of experience you have in prom. You said, I am a dad, and I told you I don't want you to go because I heard bad things. You say, I am ignorant. I don't have experience. Fine. You have experience. Tell me your experience. I assure you, your experience is less than 1% because you never went before. You only heard about it. And you think all your friends are going, so it must be great. But I can tell you as a servant, I didn't have girls my own daughters, but I have so many daughters. I have heard so many bad things that I actually tell you, your mom is right. Don't go to prom. That's my opinion. I'm not your parent. You can do whatever you like, you and your mom. But think about it. You don't have experience and you think they don't have experience. Why should they be wrong and you are not wrong? Just tell me. They have no experience. I'm with you. Do you have experience? With all respect, no. So why they are wrong and you have to be right? So calm down, guys. Humble yourselves and remember, if they say no and they are wrong, let's say they say no and they are wrong. What did we lose? Very little. Very little. But if you don't listen to them and they are right, many people today would have said, I wish I listened to my mom or dad. So please don't always think they must be wrong. You said to speak to the parents, but sometimes my parents put me down, and so I agree 100%. And believe me, I talk to the parents and I will talk again. Parents should never put you down, should never insult you, should never belittle your opinion, should never think of you as dumb or don't understand, should never underestimate your feelings. I fully agree with you, and believe me, this is something I I cannot disagree at all if this is happening. But let's think what to do about it. One of the things is somebody like Abuna or myself or somebody will talk to the parents, say, please guys, listen to your kids' opinions, hear them, try to negotiate with them. But let's say your parent doesn't want to listen to you and they belittle you and they underestimate your opinion. I think one of the ways that when you are in a good time with your mom, maybe she's in the car, she's happy with something, tell her, Mom, can I talk to you about something bothers me? And you tell her, Mom, I am growing up. I know I don't have your experience, but you are always putting me down. You are always ignoring my opinion. You are always, you okay? You are always think of me that I am just a ignorant person. I want you to listen to me. I'm not saying I have long experience, but I want to tell you what I have. Why do my parents want me to become a doctor? Unfortunately, that's a common thing among Middle Eastern. A lot of people who came from Egypt think that being a doctor or a pharmacist are the best thing and nobody else. Unfortunately, many parents don't know what's a cyber technology technician or engineer is. Many parents don't know what's a respiratory technician or a speech therapist or a corporate lawyer is. So out of ignorance, and they know that those were top jobs in Egypt, they prevail on their kids to do these things, to choose these jobs. But please, you have to choose what you like and what you are good at, but remember, there has to be a market for it. I met a girl before, she said, I want to be a director of a movie. It's a nice idea, but how many people are going to be directors of movies? So few, so few. So this is not a good job. If you are my daughter, I'll tell you, no, don't do it. There is no market for it. But if you tell me, I want to be a cyber engineer, I'll say, that's a great idea. There is plenty of jobs. If you tell me I want to be a speech therapist to help people, kids who are mentally challenged, excellent career. Your parents may not know it. I want to be a genetic counselor. Excellent idea. Your parents may not know it. That doesn't mean it's not a good job. Okay? So this is, parents needs to be educated in this. But also you should not, I want to be an actress. How many people are going to be actresses in the world? Very few, and it's a very tough career. Why does the parents take our iPhone if I did nothing wrong? So I'm not sure if I believe you, because to tell you the truth, why should they actually do it if you did something wrong? I mean, let's be frank, there is no parents here. Why should they take your phone if you did something wrong? I think they may have found that you are doing something that really was less than good, or you are using your phone all the time, or you are bringing your phone in a different way. Since we're speaking about phone and media, if you don't have CYC subscription, can you please pick up your phone and subscribe? We're not asking for money, by the way. This is just for you to get all the new songs, the new videos. We have amazing things coming up, like, for example, medical analysis of Jesus' sufferings are coming up in a week. How doctors see the whipping, the nail, how did Jesus physically complain, what was the complaint from, all of this, great. So I want you to be having this and let the subscription help you, because if your parents see that you are using your phone in a good thing, I have a feeling they may not take it. Why do my parents never let me go out with my school friends? They don't give me a reason. They should give you a reason. I agree with you 100%. But you also have to explain to them why it's very important for you to go with school friends. I have, by the way, I personally, Hani, have no problem with school friends. But you have to convince me as dad, what are you going to, what is the fun you're going to have with them? If you tell me we're going to play ball and basketball and we're going to spend time doing pool table, no problem. What's wrong with that? If you tell me I'm going to do it on Friday night when there is a meeting, I'll say, really? You have a church meeting, Habibi. Why do you have to go with your school friends on that night? If you want to tell me instead of liturgy, I'll tell you why. So that's where we can argue. But I am not here to condemn non-Copts. Who am I? Many of them are amazing Christians, by the way. Many of the school friends are very good people. And you have to be selective on whom you choose. That's all as a parent I ask you. The boy or the girl that you like to be with has to be similar to your taste. My parents do not agree about the idea that sports could help save money for education, but they don't agree. So they don't get it because we came from a culture that sports is a waste of time. All my level of parents think don't play, pray, or study. That's it. We don't have knowledge that playing is good. We now know wrong. We want you to have sports. I actually insist that every boy, especially boys and girls, must have sports because it protects you from your phone, it protects you from pornography, protects you from bad friends, protects you from Snapchat and bad Instagram. So I want you to have sports, okay? But sports to save education, that means you are becoming يعني اسمها ايه بقى محترف دي مش فاكر يعني you become a pro in sports that you are going to sell your time for a school to take you for no money so you can play basketball for them. That, yes.
Oh, sorry, I can say my question after you finish.
So this is where I have a problem with. When you are selling your time as a pro for sports, be careful though. I have seen good things, but I have seen bad things. Because some of the bad things, you become a pro at it, but after a while, you don't have time for education and you start failing, but you have to keep playing for the school. And all of a sudden you lose time and future. Yes, Habibti.
So, have you heard of Emmanuel Martin?
A middle what?
Emmanuel Martin.
Emmanuel.
Yeah, he's like in Sydney, like Australia. The one, he's like a bishop or something, or like something of that sort. He's an Ethiopian or Orthodox Christian.
Oh yeah. The Bishop Emmanuel.
Yeah.
Bishop.
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of people like say, "Oh, he's good. Listen to him." A lot of people say, "No."
Okay. So actually, he says a lot of right things for Orthodox people. When you say Emmanuel, he's Bishop Emmanuel. So he's an Antiochian bishop. I listen to many of his things. A lot of good things he says are right, especially when he speaks against atheism, God's presence. He speaks for Christianity, against science, and all of that. By the way, in CYC, there is a series coming up called Science, Logic, and Faith. It's coming up in a week. Science, Logic, and Faith. It's going to handle many of the things very similar to Bishop Emmanuel. But yeah, no problem. You can. As I said, he's not Coptic Orthodox. So when it comes to dogma, I would worry about it. But in general, the guy is an amazing Christian. He's outspoken. He speaks against scientism. He speaks against evolution. He speaks about many of these things. Sure. The last question, how to speak to parents with expressions? How to speak with parents with, does anyone want to explain this? I don't understand. How to speak with parents with expressions. Okay, I'm going to make my own guess because I don't know the understanding of the question. If I understand it, sometimes there is a non-verbal communication. Like I can talk to you and smile. You see, I'm happy with you. And I can talk to you and I'm grumping. So I'm angry at you. I can do this, which means I'm dismissing what you said. So please be careful when you talk to your parents. How good are you with speaking with expressions? You have to be respectful, not just with words, but with the way you conduct your face and your body. You cannot just be dismissing or showing face, making a face, and all of that. Thank you very much.